Hi Maestros, this is a continuation of the QA session series. I'll leave a link to the previous sessions in the description below. I hope you find it helpful. Were there any specific technical skills that were crucial for your role, and how did you acquire them? There were specific technical skills listed for that role, and it was on the job description. It ranged from Spring Boot, a popular Java framework, to some DevOps tools like Docker, Kubernetes, and cloud platform like AWS. In terms of acquiring this, usually the flow goes this way: find someone well versed, since it wasn't the language I was using or it wasn't the language I learned. Look for someone who is well versed in it. I request for a recommendation of a particular course of the language. Usually it's a crash course to get me comfortable and being able to write the basic parts such as classes, methods, and so on. Get a crash course recommendation to get comfortable with the language. Then the next step will be, if that is done, get another course recommendation. The reason I say course or video is because they might be easier compared to reading a book. So get another recommendation for the framework, which is Spring Boot. And usually in the framework, they get to build a project. So while taking this course and building a project, it's incorporated different other skill sets like working with a database, deploying to a cloud platform, using some DevOps tools like Docker. Within this course, there was some basic explanations of different things you could do or different technology you could also incorporate. So those were basically the flow. You get someone well versed, you get a recommendation for a course, you complete that. Once that is done, you get the next one for the framework, you complete that. In the process, usually for frameworks, I request recommendations for courses that they end up building a project. Because when you get to build a project, you definitely use other technologies. That's for very good courses. Now, after that is done, you can now take it a bit further by adding your own unique feature, maybe 2 or 3 features, and you can call it a wrap on that project. By then, I was a bit comfortable with this skill. I wouldn't say I was very good at them, but I was comfortable enough to start working with them. Did you engage in any side projects or personal initiatives that boosted your chances of getting hired? I did engage in some side projects. This project usually revolved around collaborating with someone to build something. When you collaborate with someone, just to build an idea out. Gigs or contracts where you come in just to work on something for a stipulated period of time. Some projects were built from following courses and just imitating the author. Other ones came as a result of take-home, when you initially apply to a company and you get a take-home, which if you complete it and after the review, if they are fine with what you implemented, they move you to the next level. So this were what my side projects revolved around. In terms of personal initiative, I was consistently tweeting. I was more active on Twitter than LinkedIn. I was consistently tweeting about my progress. And on LinkedIn, I do post once in a while, but I had the thread where I was consistently updating with my progress. If any of these activities boosted my chances of getting hired for the first job, I would say yes and no. Yes, for the projects just helped having a skill set, and once you have a skill set, you feel comfortable enough to pick up any other thing. So if you understand one programming language, you can definitely take out time to learn another one. So that was what really the side project helped with. But what actually helped get the job itself was, the first one was looking at the job description, the company's tech stack, building a sample project off that. And once I felt like I ticked 70 to 60% of the tech stack required, I could mailed the CTO. And the side project or the gigs helped with having experience in terms of if you have built something in the past. So you have something like that to show for on your CV. These were the things I think really boosted my chances. The consistent tweeting was good in terms of public awareness, but in terms of getting that first job, it did not really help me get my first job.